You're about to watch an episode of my new true crime podcast. But here's the thing. It is not real. It is not real true crime, and it's not even a real podcast. I have brought in a guest, and they are under the assumption that I'm going to be reading them a very real, very true crime story. But I'm not. What I'm actually going to be doing is reading the plot of an episode of Scooby Doo, Where Are You? And the fun part for us is that we're going to see how long it takes them to realize there's no way this could be true. We're going to be keeping track with the sus counter of any times that they get kind of suspicious, like, is this an episode of Scooby Doo? And we're going to see how long it takes them to figure it out. And, I was going to put like a counter on the screen, but then I realized, this YouTube video has a time thing. And for this episode, I'm going to be reading the plot of the Scooby Doo episode, Jeepers, It's the Creeper. Now let's go see if our guest can figure out, I think this is a cartoon. Welcome to Unleashed, a true crime podcast. I am here with my guest today, Robert Farrell.
What's up?
Today, what I'm going to be doing is I've found the most absurd and insane true crime stories, and I'm going to tell you one. So let's just jump right into it. It's October 3rd, 1970. A security guard at a local bank is driving home one night after his shift. A tree had fallen across the road, which caused him to get out of his vehicle to try to push it out of the way. While he's trying to clear part of the road so that he can get around, someone jumps out from the bushes and attacked him from behind. He would have probably laid out there in the street all night if it wasn't for a group of kids headed to a school dance. They pulled up, they noticed the tree in the road and a car, and once they got out of their vehicle to see what was going on, they noticed the security guard unconscious on the ground near the tree. They also noticed that the security guard's car had been torn up and trashed. The seats were ripped out, papers from the guard's briefcase strung out onto the street, and they said they even noticed springs from parts of the car. Because I guess back in, what year was this, 70? That's back when car seats had springs in them. At first they thought that the guard had not seen the tree and he crashed. But they realized that there's not a single scratch on the outside of his vehicle. Only the inside has been torn up. A couple of the kids managed to get the guard conscious for just a moment before he passed out again, and he handed them a piece of paper and he said, "The flame will tell the creeper." Now the piece of paper that he handed them was completely blank. That and all the weird nonsense, sentence and everything, they made the kids just thought he was concussed. They thought he was out of it.
Sounds like a Twin Peaks episode.
It does sound like a Twin Peaks episode.
Fire, walk with me.
Yeah. So the kids thought that the guard was just talking nonsense because he was obviously in need of medical attention. But remember, this is 1970. No cell phones, no GPS. They couldn't just call 911, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Because now if you get in a car accident, you just call 911. What did you do back in the day?
Use the car phone.
Surely not everybody had a car phone.
I still don't understand car phones. How popular were they?
I don't think they were that popular. I think it was a rich person thing.
Okay.
Like a limo had a car phone or something. I don't know.
But wait, he was a security guy. That feels like the type of dude
that would have. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
What did you say was the what was it that ripped it, or was in the note?
It said, "The flame will tell the creeper."
Okay, because I heard creeper, but I was like, no, that's Minecraft. That
can't
possibly be what that.
Yeah, this is where Minecraft got the idea. But that is a very real question though of what did you do if your car was totaled back in the day? The kids that had found the guard started looking through the papers that had been tossed out of his car, and they found a page that had the name and the address of the manager of the bank. They didn't know that at the time, but it was a name and an address. They noticed, it's a small town, they noticed that they're actually right down the street from this address. So they took him there. They managed to get the guard into their car. They take him to the bank manager's address, and the manager is a man named Carswell. And he helped them get the guard into the house. They laid him on the couch, and he let the kids use the phone to call the police. The only officer on duty was dealing with an emergency and wouldn't be back for several hours.
How small is this town?
Extremely small town. The way that it was explained in the research was it was the bank had maybe 2 employees, the bank manager being one of them.
Still this small.
I have no idea. I don't even know if this is a town. I don't even know the name of the town. So the guard is still unconscious, and Carswell starts asking the kids, like, what happened? What's going on? Because they just like showed up with this unconscious guy that he works with. They explained what they saw. They told him about the blank piece of paper and the fact that he said the flame will tell the creeper. And they actually get some information because Mr. Carswell explains that the creeper is what the local newspaper had nicknamed a serial bank robber who had been robbing banks in the middle of the night. And they had nicknamed him the creeper because every time he robs the bank, and he had robbed this specific bank several times, was the doors and the windows were all locked from inside when the cops got there. Mr. Carswell tells the kids that they can go on to their school dance, because remember, they were on their way to a dance, like a prom or whatever, and he'll get the guard some help once the officer on duty gets back. So the kids leave for the dance, and this is where you would think is the end of the story, but this is where it just gets started, because they still have the piece of paper. The school dance was being held at like a big barn in the middle of a bunch of farmland. So one of the parents of a student at the school always volunteered their barn for events and stuff. It was out in the middle of nowhere. They've got music, all the kids from school are dancing and hanging out in this big barn, and then the lights go out. Due to the events with the bank guard earlier, the kids had like already missed most of the dance. So when the lights went out, everyone assumed it was just a power issue. Again, this was 1970 in the middle of a farm in a barn. So they decide, well, the dance is pretty much over anyway. Let's all go to the malt shop and we'll just keep the party going there. Everyone pretty much leaves, but a few of the students stick around to help clean up all the food, including the ones who found the security guard earlier in the night. While out by the barn bagging up some trash, this is where it gets insane, dude. They're bagging up some trash outside the barn. A man who is wearing a face cover comes up to one of the kids and starts demanding the paper that they had taken from the car accident, from the security guard. And it becomes pretty apparent that the reason that the power went out is because this guy like cut the power off. And he's getting pretty aggressive. So he keeps demanding the paper. The kids are freaked out. They just take off running across this farm. And at this point, it's really late. There is no lights. So it's really difficult to see out on the farm. They all take off. Some of them are hiding in like bales of hay. Some of them were like hiding in a hen house that was near the barn. Like, just imagine being out there in the middle of nowhere. It's pitch dark. Some guy's yelling and chasing you down. He's wearing a mask. And now you're hiding and hoping he doesn't hear you breathe. Like, what if the hens in the hen house just started like freaking out and like giving away your position? Like, this is like nightmare fuel.
Yeah. What kind of face covering did he have?
It's like, it wasn't explained super. I don't think it was like a ski mask.
Okay.
I think it might have been like a maybe like some sort of rubber face covering, or I don't know. What did they have
like
in
a
1970?
Michael Myers mask?
I don't think they had that in 1970, right? Or maybe they did because
Halloween's around that time.
Maybe it was something like that. It didn't specify, and there's no pictures because it was 1970. I mean, they had photographs, obviously, but not like well documented photographs.
If I 1870,
it's Alexander Hamilton is one of the kids.
I am not giving back this paper.
If I can find a picture, I will put it up in the video. This is all over the blank piece of paper that you got from a security guard who was seemingly attacked earlier in the night. So like, I can put myself like when I was in high school, something like this happening, because kids don't make rational decisions either. Yeah. Like the rational thing is to get back in your car and leave. They're just hiding in a hen house.
Like, what use is it to you?
Or give them the paper, right? While they're running around this farm trying to hide, they find a car parked behind some bushes and they assume, oh, this belongs to the guy. This is his car. So they open his car and they start looking through his car. They don't find any identification. They don't find anything with name, address, nothing. All they find is a bunch of torn up negatives, like photo negatives from old film cameras to take pictures back in the day. See, there was cameras. So the kids, they all end up finding each other again. Before they get in the car, like they open the front door, the guy is in the driver's seat of their car waiting for them.
Wait, their car? Like
yeah.
He went back from his car to their car?
Yeah. So like when they went to go jump into their car, he had just been sitting there waiting the whole time in the driver's seat. They see him in the driver's seat. They take off back into the pitch black barn with this guy running after him again. And he's just demanding the blank paper over and over again. Paper, paper. They're in the barn. They're stumbling around in the dark. The guy chasing them gets caught up in some of the machinery that is used for baling and bundling hay bales. So He gets caught up in the machinery. He can't get out. Supposedly, he was scared to death that the machinery was going to turn on and crush him, or that he would get caught up in the gears or something, because that's, I guess, a common thing that would happen.
To a hay bale.
Yeah, classic. He's freaking out. One of the kids runs over, and they rip the face covering off of him, and guess who it is? Can you solve the reveal?
I mean, what other characters do we have in this that it could be? There's a bank manager who maybe could have been robbing his own place.
Okay.
Why does he need the paper, though, is the thing. Why is this so important? What did it say again?
The paper, the flame will reveal the creeper or something like that. Will tell the creeper.
Man, so I have to solve this. This is the whole conceit of the show.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think through, because I edit all the can I solve. I'm trying to think through what your process is, but also you usually don't solve it. So maybe I should be doing
Well, and also, I'm usually trying to solve a fictional story. This happened.
You didn't name that many people. There's the bank guy, there's the homeless guy, there's whoever is running the prom. I mean, the most fun reveal I could think of is that maybe the bank manager.
Is that what you're locking in?
Why would he need the paper, though? What's the significance of the paper? Especially if he theoretically, like, robbed a place. You know, maybe we're thinking about this the wrong way. Maybe since there are so few people, it was like could it have been one of the kids?
Ooh. Like it was like a prank thing, maybe?
Maybe. Because also, if this is a small town, then maybe most of the town is involved in the school dance.
Oh, okay.
And so one of the school kids knows that a bunch of people that know him, that would be able to identify him, wouldn't be around to catch him.
Okay. Is that what you want to lock in? One of their schoolmates?
But you did say that there was a notorious creeper guy
that
was known to rob
specifically that bank too.
So why would it be someone that was in this town?
Well, and again, the important thing to remember is this is like true crime.
Yeah.
So it might not make any sense. That's another thing.
So it could just be a random guy.
It could be, but you got to lock that in if you want to get it right. That's what makes this show fun.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a lock in the bank manager. That's
All
still
right.
my favorite. That's somebody that's inside on the bank.
Someone we know. One of our cast of characters.
And he knows what a small town bank is like, and so he knows how he could rob all the neighboring banks.
That's true. And it's his bank that keeps getting robbed.
Yeah, I have no idea why he would need the paper so bad.
Yeah.
Thinking about the scene of the car. So the entire inside of this car was ripped up.
Yes.
Which also, why would, like, ripped up and like they're just signs of a struggle, or is like
I told you what I know. So the inside of the car has been torn apart. The guard handed them a piece of paper. It was within consciousness, and that's all we know.
And there's fire. I haven't had a fire in this story yet.
It's true.
Which is the thing that reveals who Creeper is.
See, it's not so easy.
Was there a fire at the school dance? Like, it was in a barn. Was there like a bonfire or something?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
All right. I'm a lock in my original guess. The bank man.
All right. One of the kids runs over, yanks the mask off of him, and guess who it is? It is Mr. Carswell, the bank manager.
Hey.
Nice. Right on cue. Blue lights. The officer on duty that night has arrived after getting the phone call earlier in the night. He runs up with a flashlight. He sees the bank manager caught up in machinery. And he's like, what the hell is going on? I got your message. I went straight to Carswell's house. No one was home. I found a security guard tied up in the basement. The kid starts telling the officer how the manager has been wearing a mask and chasing them around the farm all night. So, because that's suspicious, the cop arrests him. And we get a full confession at the police station. This is what actually was going on. Mr. Carswell was the last one to leave the bank every day. So he would load up his bag with a bunch of money. Then he would lock the safe and leave as usual. Then he would show up later in the night wearing a mask, and he would make sure that someone saw him running from the bank with a big bag of money. right? So that way, an eyewitness sees a masked man robbing the bank in the middle of the night. So that way, there's no suspicion on the money have been taken earlier in the day. At the end of the day, he's just writing down the correct amount of money, and then some masked guy is the reason the money's off when they check it the next day, right? Yeah. After the first few robberies, the security guard that we had met put up a security camera aimed at the vault. Now, this isn't a video camera. This is a, I guess it was motion activated, but it was a still photography camera. Mr. Carswell was not aware that this security camera was put up because the guard, I think, was suspicious of him, so he didn't tell the manager. The next day at work, they're short a bunch of cash again. Oh no, the creeper got us again. How is he doing this? And the guard goes, well, don't worry, Mr. Carswell. We've got him this time. I set up a security camera. We've got a picture of the bank robber. He gets the footage. He goes to go get the footage developed, and Mr. Carswell follows him. When the guard has to get out because there's a tree in the road, Mr. Carswell takes the opportunity to jump him and attack him. His plan was to get the film that was about to be developed and destroy it so that no one would know it was him. But the guard managed to hide the undeveloped picture on his person while he was being attacked. So Carswell's trashing the car looking for the negative. Couldn't find it. Then he had to take off because he saw a car's headlights coming. That's the kids that found the guard. Carswell goes back to his house. He's freaking out because he's like, oh my gosh, he might have killed the guard. He left him there in the middle of the night, that he couldn't find the negative. So if someone finds it and develops it, he's getting arrested for the bank robbery. And then sure enough, knock, 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 the kids show up at his house with the guard. And they tell him that they have this mysterious blank paper. So now Carswell follows the kids to try to get the picture back at the dance. And we, of course, know what happens from there. They take the blank paper from the kids. They put a flame under the undeveloped photo. It develops the picture a little bit, and you can see the bank manager robbing the bank.
See, this is where they messed up, though.
Yeah.
He could have just wrote on the paper, Carswell did it. And then maybe put a little arrow down it was the flame will reveal. He didn't
cryptic. Know Carswell did it. He hadn't developed the photo yet.
Okay.
He was going to get the photo developed. So when he got jumped, I think he assumed, I don't know if he knew it was Carswell.
Why he just develop the photo on the top?
Well, he was semi-unconscious. He didn't write it out. He said the flame will tell the creeper.
Okay. That's a very Lynchian way to put it.
Yeah, it's very strange. If it was me, I'd been like, get this to a photo place. Yeah. But I mean, he was probably concussed. I actually don't know if he made a full recovery or not.
Oh no.
But yeah. So what did you think about this true crime story, dude?
It was fun. And advice to all the kids out there, if you need cash quick, go to the smallest town you could find and get a job at the local bank where you're one of two employees. That seems like an oversight in and of itself. There should be more people working at the bank.
I don't know for certain how many people were working there, but it was explained to me that it was such a small town that it was like the bank manager was there every day.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that meant he probably didn't have a bunch of employees. Well, I mean, what do you think you would do in this situation?
What would I do in that situation? Yeah. I mean, just because of the cryptic nature of the message, the flame will reveal.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's asking for something to be lit on fire and not like the paper itself.
Right, not developing it with a flame.
It sounds like you got to burn down the bank and then you'll figure out.
So you're saying you would burn down the bank. That's what you would do to get to the bottom of this.
I mean, honestly, real talk, what I would have done.
Yeah.
Really just give him the paper.
Oh, so you wouldn't have even gotten caught up in it.
I don't know that there's a photo on the paper. And this creepy guy's threatening to kill me. He's not asking for cash.
Okay,
He's not asking for anything except for this worthless piece of paper that I don't know the value of. Because the dude wasn't straight up just like, hey, this is a photo.
Would you like to know the craziest part of the story? It's the last thing. The cops arrest the bank manager, and as he's being taken away, he yells out, You meddling kids.
See, I had a feeling this story wasn't totally real, especially when there's like an unmasking scene. I was like, this is very Scooby Doo. I thought the whole joke of this podcast was going to be that this is just a creepypasta and it's not real, but it's a Scooby Doo episode.
It's just a Scooby Doo episode.
Yeah.
This is Unleashed, a fake true crime podcast where every episode I tell a guest a true crime story. That's actually just an episode of Scooby Doo.
This is why you wanted me on the podcast. So
Yeah.
bad. I have not seen a full episode of Scooby Doo.
Because I really thought there's been a timer going on this entire time. The whole thing is who can figure out it's a Scooby Doo episode the quickest.
I knew because okay, the first thing that tipped me off to this might not be real is I asked you a question about the size of the town. You said something like the script doesn't say or something. It's still this small.
I have no idea. I don't even know if this is a town. I don't even know the name of the town.
Why would it not include that detail?
Dang. I slipped up. Dang. So that was the first time you got suspicious?
And then like the mask reveal, I was like that.
I was really afraid I was going to get a minute in and you're going to be like, is this a Scooby-Doo episode? And then we just have to go home. The whole thing is who can figure out
the
this is a
bank robber
Scooby-Doo
being
episode.
called the Creeper is hilarious too.
I thought that was where it was going to be over.
Yeah.
Like I contemplated taking out that part and it just being like the flame will tell. Yeah. But then it's like, that's cheating, I think. I wanted to put in enough elements to where it's like, this feels like an episode of Scooby-Doo.
Wait, so in the Scooby-Doo episode, are the characters high schoolers going to a dance?
The Scooby-Doo kids, yeah. Mystery Incorporated.
Do the Scooby-Doo kids like canonically live in a really small town?
It changes.
Okay.
So in this episode, yeah. And that's another thing is I add some elements to try to justify something being super cartoonish. So like him getting caught up in the machinery. He gets caught up in a hay bale, like how you said.
Okay.
It's a common thing that would happen.
To a hay bale.
Yeah, classic.
So what hijinks were Shaggy and Scooby getting up to?
Oh, dude, like the part where the kids are running around and hiding in the hen house.
Yeah.
That's Scooby and Shaggy, and Scooby is like interacting with a baby chick. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you go check out Robert's channel, especially if you like music-related videos. He's a fantastic director. We've done a bunch of stuff together. In fact, you can watch our video, The Chuck E. Cheese Strangler, linked down below. It's a fake true crime docu-series trailer. So one of my favorite things we've ever done.
Yeah. At Written by Pod is where a lot of our short films are.
Yeah.
Got a film called Locked In. We're shooting in 2 months.
Very excited about that. So, yeah, thank you for being here. Thanks for being a good sport, considering I just gaslit you for 30 minutes. And technically, because you did not say anything, you did not figure out it was a Scooby-Doo episode before the reveal.
I did solve it, though.
You did solve it, but you didn't figure out it was Scooby. So you're not going to be the champion of this season if I make more episodes of this. And that's up to you guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. All right. Dope.